Let's shift focus and move to Gauteng, where people in Olievenhoutbosch near Centurion have this morning barricaded roads using burning tyres. eNCA understands the protest is over housing issues. The area remains tense at this hour. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is there and joins us live now for an update. So what do we know exactly, Manqoba, about why it is that roads have been barricaded and protests have broken out in Olievenhoutbosch?
Well, Tula, so far the details are really very sketchy at this particular moment. But what we do understand is that this protest started last night, and it's over the issue of housing in this particular area. You'll know that this is one of the areas that has had many of these violent service delivery protests over the issue of housing in recent years. And just speaking to one of the community members, just briefly, what we do understand is that the community here had received a message from the city of Tshwane that they were going to evict some of the residents who have illegally occupied some of the stands in this particular area. But I just want to move out of shot so that I can show you how tense this particular situation is right now. As you can see here on the roads, there are quite a number of vehicles that have been overturned here. We do understand that these vehicles were from a scrapyard not so far from here. They were actually pulled by some of the community members to block these roads here and to ensure that nothing really moves. And I can tell you, Tulas, that the R55 is closed at this particular point. You cannot access any of the routes here on R55 to try and get perhaps to Pretoria. So it is quite a tense situation, Tulas. We have seen many of the residents here throwing stones at police currently. We do understand that police arrived here just about an hour ago to try and quell this particular protest. We also are seeing running battles between community members as well as police. But just to give you a picture, Tulas, currently the community members have retreated. This as police, of course, continue to try and clear up this particular stretch of road. You can see the police trying to move the rubble here from the road, but it is quite a difficult task for them. The community members keep throwing stones at the police and at this particular direction where we are currently. But here as well, as you can see, a water tanker trying to douse one of the logs that have been placed here on the street that is currently burning. But in terms of traffic, Tulas, it is being diverted at this particular stage. You recall that in previous protests as well, we have seen vehicles that pass through this particular street being attacked whenever there is a violent protest in this particular area. So at this current stage, community members are still have retreated at this particular moment, but there are still some that are visible here that are out just looking. Whenever police back off, they then come back to the streets and start burning tires. But there is quite a large police contingent at this particular point that has now been deployed to try and deal with the situation. And you can see some of the vehicles now being able to make their way through this rubble here on the streets, which police are currently removing at this particular stage. But we're going to try, Tulas, and perhaps speak to community members. It is quite a bit difficult at this point, given the fact that the police are still out here. And so at this particular moment, they are not here close to where we are at this current moment. But we do understand that, Tulas, this is a protest over the issue of housing in this particular area.
All right, Manqoba Mchunu, we'll leave it there for now. Let's stay with your visuals just for a moment. In fact, we can actually come out of there. It's looking like a war zone in that situation. Absolutely concerning the degree of violence that has been involved in that particular community protest. And as Manqoba says, he and the team will be trying to speak to the community that are protesting about what their demands are, because it does tend to happen that when there's violence in a protest, our focus will shift to the violence and the issues are sort of moved to the back burner. Of course, the flip side of it can also be true, because I remember a report some years ago that was called The Smoke That Calls, and it argued basically that usually communities feel that authorities don't move until, there are burning tires and the smoke above a particular community. And then suddenly a DDG will be deployed. A minister will even come through. So let's see what the situation is in Olievenhoutbosch. Let's get to the bottom of the issues there and see how that can move forward.